What's going on, dope fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. Sorry for not uploading the past few days. I've been under the weather and have just been started recovering. But nonetheless, charts have been looking very good. Of course, if you guys have been looking at the charts the past 48 hours, we had massive spikes up in the price for Bitcoin and especially Ethereum. Ethereum has done major leg ups and we've clearly broken above that major 4K to 4.1K resistance. And more than likely, we'll be on our way to all-time highs for this month, which will of course will have major implications for base chain season. Of course, when it comes to base chain tokens like TOSHI, Alien Base, and more, we're having a lot of life sprouting within these tokens. TOSHI is actually up a massive 50% in 10 days, which is absolutely huge, and I do expect massive gains like this to come. And of course, when it comes to TOSHI, I really do think TOSHI will head to the billions range just purely based on the fundamentals and what I really foresee when it comes to base chain. And same goes for Alien Base. Alien Base is really grinding the range highs of its accumulation range I've been noting you guys about. And I really do think that Alien Base will make new all-time highs. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow these pages. And let's get right into it. First of all, for liquidations, actually looking very bullish because when it comes to the short squeezes we had the past 3 days, the short squeezes never really hit more than 500 mil. And we just had a small little pullback on Bitcoin today. Of course, Bitcoin pulled back, what was it? Like $2,000, I believe it was. Yeah, so only it's about 3%, which was about $4,000. And we've only had $540 million in liquidations, and majority has actually been on the long side. So when it comes to that inflection point I was telling you guys about, when it comes to like local tops or local highs, it's pretty clear to me we still have a much larger leg up to happen for this month. And when it comes to long short ratio, like we're already having more shorts coming in. So people and the sentiment is still resetting and people are still quite bearish, which is of course bullish for us because it of course means more than likely we have another leg up in play for August. Next up is the liquidation heat map. Same thing, we're having liquidations, funnily enough, building up above us once again. We had a little bit of liquidation cascade during my early morning, and looks like we're having a lot of build up just above us. So this once again just tells me the bears are still loud, and I really do think the market is topping. Of course, the nail in the coffin really is once Bitcoin makes your times and has a proper impulse to the upside, that the bears will probably get destroyed, and we'll probably see those massive liquidation cascades for once for the short side. Next up is a long short ratio. To be honest, I haven't looked at this in a while, and let's just have a little look at it. Yeah, so surprisingly, we're actually starting to grind down, but it does look like we're probably going to print another higher low. And I did tell you guys, look, the long short ratio was looking like it was going to squeeze to the upside. So we've had that squeeze to the upside. Now we're probably going to retest the higher low range. So it's pretty much around here or so. And then we'll make another new impulse to the upside, which will of course likely mean that Bitcoin also makes another leg up to the upside. Next up is Ethereum to Bitcoin. Absolute beast. Ethereum to Bitcoin has definitely shown a lot of strength, and I did tell you guys once we broke this accumulation range, I do expect the impulse to the upside, which have had just exactly that. Next target is the 0.04, and I would not be surprised within the next 2 months for that to be tagged. Next up is Ethereum to USD, also another amazing chart. I really do think that all-time highs will get hit in August, but of course this is just my opinion, none of this is financial advice, but I really do think based on probabilities and because we've actually tagged the major 4.1k resistance so many times, like look at all the circles, those that have been major resistance and rejection points, and we've finally broken that out for the first time in this bull cycle. So it just tells me things are different and where the trend is up, and more than likely all-time high will at least be tagged, and we can go from there. Because when it comes to breaking the 4.1k, it's just so significant. I will have to say once again as well, like the 4.1k resistance is probably stronger than the all-time high because we've tested this so many times. I believe it was what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it's been tagged, and all-time high is really only been tested twice. So it just means the 4.1k resistance has been strong for so long, and we're finally broken out, and that just might be the fuel to the fire to make new highs. Next up is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we're finally broken out consolidation range. I believe the last video was around here where I was telling you guys, look, we're grinding above on top of it, and it looks like Bitcoin wants to break out to the upside, which we just had. We retraced a lot of the move, but look, as long as we hold, we could technically retest all the way down to the 117, even technically the low 116s, and retest this bull flag. And as long as that gets held, I do think continuation is to occur to the upside. Next up is Total 3. Really, we're just grinding sideways after a massive move up. As you guys can see, the move up from 2nd of August has been just about 12%, which is absolutely massive. pretty much $100 billion in total market has been added, which is obviously great to see because we're seeing massive moves on our base native token assets like TOSHI, Alien Base, etc. Next up is stock market. No real updates. It's just grinding upwards, and I do expect probably another rejection soon. It does look like it wants to bull flag for a bit. I'm not going to draw this up as of yet, but I guess just keep note. Stock market, let's see where we go, because I really do think some weakness will occur for stock market, because it just seems like we need another accumulation range to be had. Next up is TOSHI. Massive updates for TOSHI. TOSHI just released a new product update for TOSHI, which might just be the catalyst we need to head to that billions range. But nonetheless, when it comes to purely TA analysis and the charts, I did tell you guys, at least on the 1 hourly, let me just go to the 1 hour actually. We were actually doing a series of 1-2-1-2s, which is an Elliott wave theory style. And as you guys can see, we had that 1-2-1-2, 1-2. And then I believe now this is the 3-4. So we have that 3, and then the consolidation here, and then another impulse to the upside. And let's see if that completes the impulse. But just to give you like more evidence of why I think this is an actual impulse to the upside, if you guys can see, every time we've broken out, it actually never retested the previous impulse. So as you guys can see, we wicked down, but we never actually closed above the previous one. And once again here, we closed above. We never actually touched the previous impulse. So this just tells me this move is massively impulse, and more than likely this will lead us to expansion and new all-time highs. Next up is Alien Base. Huge updates for Alien Base because, of course, Alien Base got included in the main DEX integration for the Coinbase app. And I really do think this will allow a lot of volume and TVL metrics to flow down into the Alien Base DEX. And, of course, since Aerodrome is the biggest, that is the first mover, and we had a massive move because of that. Since that update, we've been up 70% on Aerodrome in a matter of 6 days. And I really do think that Alien Base will play the catch-up game later on in this bull cycle. I've told you guys multiple times, more than likely Alien Base will be a laggard due to the fact that it is a microcap. It's $18 million. And Aerodrome's already at $1 billion, so I do expect microcaps to lag, which is totally fine, because when it comes to the risk on of markets, usually the microcaps take a bit longer to really speed up and get their expansion moving. And when it comes to inflection points, I've told you guys multiple times, once Alien Base breaks above this accumulation range, and as well as the consolidation range here, I do think expansion is going to occur for Alien Base, and that's pretty much your nail in the coffin when it comes to buying at really good prices. And next up, I really want to cover as well is Aerodrome. Like, Aerodrome is obviously the life and butter of base chain, and I really do think that base chain is really going to sprout some life once Aerodrome actually breaks the all-time highs. The major significance of Aerodrome actually breaking all-time highs is, once Aerodrome breaks new all-time highs, it just tells me a lot of the tokens paired in the AERO token will also get a pump from it, because of course, if your token is paired with a token that's going up, more than likely your actual native token will go up. So of course, this is a bad example, but AERO is paired with USDC, but let's say this is actually paired with TOSHI. If Aerodrome pumps really hard, like say 100% in 2 days, TOSHI will actually get carried with that pairing, because that's just how crypto works. If your other pairing pumps up in price, your native pair will also go up in price. So of course, quite bullish, and because Aerodrome is paired with pretty much like over like half of the base chain ecosystem, it just shows that once Aerodrome pumps to all-time highs, the base chain's ecosystem is really healthy, and more than likely is going to have a massive expansion to the upside. Next up is the altcoin season index. I've told you guys multiple times, I will cover you guys and update you guys. And look, we're still bull flagging, making a series of higher lows and higher highs. And as long as we have a breakout here, a successful breakout, I do expect the next leg up to occur. We just haven't had that as of yet. Ethereum is carrying the cycle right now as it stands. And I really do think that once Ethereum has a bit of a breather, probably a breather above all-time highs, we can see this altcoin season index to really start ramping up. Next up is a really good tweet from U6950, and he's showing the TOSHI weekly chart. This chart pretty much just shows that the 7-6 region has been major resistance since the start of this year, and we finally have had a weekly close above it. And this just tells me expansion is probably going to head to the upside very soon for TOSHI. And basically, if we get more daily and weekly confirmations, I do think that TOSHI is closer than ever to actually make all-time highs. And if you guys are wondering too, like, look, why is TOSHI pumping and other coins like Alien Base really isn't? I told you guys already, TOSHI is pretty much one of the most liquid heavy tokens on base chain. It's on Coinbase, it's on Binance Alpha, etc. And is one of the largest meme tokens on base chain. So I do expect TOSHI to really carry the base chain ecosystem for this first part of the base season. And then we can see rotation into smaller coins like Alien Base, etc. Next up is that TOSHI update I was telling you guys about. This is absolutely huge because I really do think this might just be the catalyst for TOSHI to hit that multiple billions range. So TOSHI, what's the announcement? TOSHI is now live on Firecaster and the base app, which is really good for distribution because more tokens launching on different platforms means more revenue for TOSHI. But when it comes to the TOSHI flywheel built to strengthen the TOSHI ecosystem, from August 2025, which is this month, devs launching tokens on TOSHI earn 50% of the LP fees, launch with TOSHI or ETH. So this is actually a really massive bullish note because now tokens on TOSHI can actually be paired with the TOSHI pairing. What this means for us, and I'll say all the bullish notes around this is, so of course, most launches will be now paired with TOSHI. And what that actually means is every time tokens get paired with the TOSHI pairing, there's going to be TOSHI locked up forever within that token. So example, consistent TOSHI supply lockup. Imagine 100 plus coins on the TOSHI mart. I do think more coins will come because they will be announcing more chains. And to be honest, there'll be probably thousands of tokens launching a TOSHI mart. And example, with $20,000 plus of TOSHI locked forever in each coin, that's technically like potentially like up to like $20 million plus just getting locked up supply locked forever from the TOSHI supply, which is absolutely bullish because of course less TOSHI in circulation means a higher price. And when it comes to distribution as well, TOSHI will release on multiple chains. TOSHI's already announced to bridge to new chains like they did for Binance Smart Chain. So TOSHI is heading to the Binance Smart Chain, and I do expect more layer 2 chains to come. And of course, more chains means more TOSHI getting bridged to different chains and just a much larger expansion, more distribution, more fees. And of course, the fees will be used to buy back TOSHI. So we're not just getting supply shock because of the liquidity getting locked up from the TOSHI tokens, but we're also getting buybacks, which will be a massive flywheel because I really do think that once TOSHI gets distribution amongst the most popular layer 2 chains, as well as Binance Smart Chain and other L1s, we're going to see a massive influx in TOSHI tokens getting launched, which will of course mean a massive supply shock with the TOSHI token. So very bullish. This is a medium to long-term game for TOSHI, and I do think this will start ramping up in the next few months. It's not going to happen straight away, but think of it like similar ways like the ETF. It's not going to be a massive inflow day one. It's going to take a bit for people to get used to the product. Going to take a bit for distribution to occur. TOSHI needs to get deployed on different chains first, as well as the TOSHI token to get bridged over there. And I really do think that this will start ramping up the TOSHI liquidity. Supply shock will heavily hit TOSHI, and that just might be the catalyst we need to actually head to that multiple billions range, because of course supply shock means less TOSHI in supply, and less supply means higher price. So that's all to the video, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe, and comment down below if you guys want me to cover any other base name tokens. I hope my voice was fine for this video. I'm still a bit sick, but I really needed to make this update because Bitcoin and Ethereum is just looking so good right now, especially TOSHI. I really did think that TOSHI would be the leader for base chain, and if we expect base chain season to occur, TOSHI will most likely have some massive gains to happen, and then we can see rotation into the smaller coins. But that's all to the video, guys. Have a good one. Have a good day. Peace.